I was always so scared to fail at things or like try a new thing and not be naturally gifted.
I stopped thinking that a tiny screw up meant I'd absolutely failed, and that changed everything.
At my heaviest, food was basically all that I thought about. It was the way that I survived. It filled most of my thoughts. I was 320 pounds. I was struggling with depression and anxiety issues. I walked across campus, signed up for my college gym, and fell in love with bodybuilding. Over a year, I lost over 100 pounds.
I would say I'm really proud of myself and the girl that tried in the beginning.
This is a pretty typical binge eating breakfast for me, or it was in 2013, 2014. I would go into the grocery store, load up my cart with sweets, and that's what I would have for breakfast. And then I would go back for lunch. And that is part of binge eating. I would turn my brain off and shovel as much of this into my mouth as possible, to the point where I imagined that I didn't want to eat anything ever again. And then about 20 or 30 minutes later, I would start again and finish the rest of it. At my heaviest, everybody in my life likes to say they thought I was the most confident person ever, but inside I was crumbling. It was all a facade. I got the name the Iron Giantess because when I was a kid, I was very tall and very big, and I always felt like I took up too much space. And my friends would call me the Iron Giant, and they thought it was a compliment, but I thought it was the worst name in the world. My relationship with food only got worse when I was alone. It started to become shameful and quiet and something I didn't talk to anyone about. The turning point for me was I stopped thinking that a tiny screw up meant I'd absolutely failed, and I started giving myself grace and coming back to my journey even when I fell off, and that changed everything. I started with a YouTube video in my living room. I promised myself that by the end of the week or the month, I was going to be able to get through the whole YouTube video without resting. When I got through the whole video, I immediately walked across campus, signed up for my college gym, and fell in love with bodybuilding. I thought it was going to be intimidating and terrifying, but what I learned when I walked in there was I was really freaking strong. I was 6'1" and 320 pounds and really strong. I started with 6 workouts a week, consistently going into the gym, lifting weights for about an hour and a half, and then doing about 20 minutes of cardio 2 to 3 times a week, and I've kept that up. Over a year, I lost over 100 pounds, and then I have sustained that plus some. I was at 320 pounds, and now I'm around 180. When I first lost the weight, I was teaching middle school English, but I realized that my voice was more impactful in the fitness space. It just clicked.
Give me 5, 4.
Because her story was very similar to mine and some of the things that we battled mentally and physically, I think I was drawn to her very early in that process. And you know, I think anytime that I kind of found myself in a scenario where I'm like, you know, I can't do this, she was always there as a guiding light for me to remember that this is a process that's going to take my whole life, and it's going to take every bit of energy that it is that I have to always put my health first. Her workouts are tough, I gotta tell you. She brings it.
I love to come down to the beach after my workouts just to ground myself and remind myself that I can be living my own fantasy. I was always so scared to fail at things or like try a new thing and not be naturally gifted. And what I realized with the gym was, number one, I was not naturally gifted. What was cool was that every single week you walk into the gym and you fail on purpose. Like you push yourself so far that you can't do it anymore. You can't move that weight. You've never done that weight. You fail. You just fail over and over and over until you decide it's not failing, it's just growing.
How do you feel when you think about how far you've come?
I think that it's really easy to look back and gloss over things and make it seem like it was really easy. I don't think I've answered this question before, but I don't think I've been ready to be honest about it. There's such a temptation with these stories to present them as finished. They've accomplished something that you can't do, or that there's something superhuman about them, but there isn't. And I think a lot of the time we just have to be willing to keep struggling and keep fighting for ourselves and recognizing that this battle wasn't the only battle. I would say I'm really proud of myself and of the girl that tried in the beginning.